we'll get the link for you. And you can watch last September, because then you'll remember that the color for September is blue. And we're not going to talk about that. We just assume you already know it now. And nobody's wearing blue. Well, Stephanie might be wearing blue.
I'm not wearing blue.
I am going.
It's not September yet.
Yeah, well, true. There you go. There you go, Leslie. And just for that, I'm going to mute you. No.
What? No open mic for me?
Oh my God, Leslie, we had, and this is just, I should have started recording, but we had seekers last week when I was up in Maryland, and I had to pull a massive porcupine out. Just
Oh my goodness.
And I'm still salty about it. You can ask me. I have been
that hasn't
about
happened
it
in a
so
long time.
No, I had to, and I started with saying, am I going to have to pull a porcupine here? You know, because I mean, it was a very positive conversation, and then it went quickly south. I was like, well, let's meditate. So anyway, so that won't happen tonight. So here we go. Do you want to read your quote,
Well,
Della?
sure. So September is a month of fresh starts and new beginnings, a time to set and pursue fresh goals. Mecca Boyle.
There you go. I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is, or you just found
I don't. Nope. I just found the quote. Nope.
All right. So go ahead.
All right. September healing space. Another quote, September, you are a doorway to the season that awakens my soul. Get that? See that? Not soul, but soil. Anyway, Peggy Tony Horton. So September comes from the Latin word septime, which means seven. And in the early Roman calendar, September was the seventh month. I don't know if you all know that, before they added January and February. September. You didn't know that?
I did not know that. No.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah. And so then when they added January and February, September became the ninth month. So it starts with the start of the harvest moon. It's the month of the fall equinox at Mabon, although we're not going to talk about that here. Last days of summer and the first days of fall. In Old English, it was called Harvest Month, which is still harvest month. And September is dedicated to the Roman god of fire, Vulcan.
See, I did not know. Well, I knew about the equinox in Mabon. I didn't know any of that. Yeah. That's interesting.
Oh.
All right. Here we go. So I put this up earlier, but you guys might not have seen it. So I want you to just take a moment and see where your eye keeps being drawn to. And you can put it in the chat once you decide which image is speaking to you today. All right, so Stephanie says the fall trees. Barb says the shiny blue orb, which is really popular. The people that have said something on Facebook, that's been the number one that everybody keeps going to. Leslie says the orb. Who else is here? Leslie with an S, Leslie with a Z. What do you say? Oh, you're going for the blue, Della.
Both the blue is just like, can't pick between the two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I have to agree with Della. I'm kind of caught between the two blues.
Caught between the blues. Yeah. I have just been all day drawn to the grid at the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah.
The blue grid. Yeah. It's between that and
Yeah, between the blues. I love that. You like the basil too, Leslie, I see. Yeah, they're good. Good.
The grid. Mhm.
All right, so let's see what it means. So this first one, this is an altar. This is a Mabon altar, which nobody cares about. Um, so, but I'm still going to read it. It says you're at a crossroads and it's time to reflect on all that you have sown. What paid off and what needs to go? And this is a big month for that. Time to create an altar, giving thanks for the good and releasing the bad. So the basil, you feel the need for protection. Something is out of balance. Use the sweet scent of basil to ward away any ill feelings and bring yourself back to love. So we'll see which one speaks to you more, Leslie. Now this is lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli, depending on how you say it. And it's funny to me that it is so popular today. So you have got to speak up. You are not doing anyone, least of all yourself, any good by biting your tongue. Find your courage and your strength and tell it like it is. So I do hope I'm not involved in that with any of you.
No
So,
porcupines here.
pardon me?
I said no porcupine here.
No porcupines, right? Yeah, but we should speak up, right? So this is Stephanie's fall scene. So sometimes you feel like you are walking on this earth alone. It's time to ask yourself whether you prefer that, or is it time to take a chance on a companion?
I keep getting that message. I just need a companion to walk with.
Well, you got to decide whether you really want it or not, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Nobody picked the crow, and I have to say, Stephanie, I thought you would pick the crow for sure.
I like the crow, but
Yeah. Well, weren't you like last year really obsessed with crows, or maybe that was 2 years ago?
that was like 2 years ago because they were everywhere. They were just near me.
Yeah. Oh, so now you're over it. So the crows are cunning and very smart. Sometimes they figure things out that you would never suspect them to be capable of. Are you the crow or is someone on to you? Time to fess up one way or the other. And then this is Metatron's cube, sacred geometry. It says time to trust the sacred, not the profane. In what ways are you not aligning with all that is good and holy? If manifesting is not working for you, perhaps you're not honoring the manifestation. Yikes. So there you have it. So there you go, Della.
All right. Oh, I like that. Goodbye, August. Hello, September. So for this month, we're going to focus on, for the chakra, the root. Our mantra will be Satnam. Our spirit animal is the crow. A herb will be basil. The crystal is lapis lazuli. The Celtic moon is vine. The angel of the month is Metatron. And the astrological sign is Virgo.
Is anyone here a Virgo? No. No.
Know
Good.
some though.
Good.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm just kidding. So there you go.
All right. So the root chakra, it's called Muladhara in Sanskrit. It is located at the base of the spine. It has the foundation of physical structure of the body. Its element is earth. Its color is red. And when you're centered, when your root chakra is centered, you feel grounded, you feel safe, stable, confident, and strong. When it's blocked or imbalanced, you can feel insecure, anxious, self-pity, or stressed. And it's seed mantra, and I had to look that up because I say seed mantra all the time, didn't know what it was, and it's just a single syllable mantra. Yeah. It's Lam.
Yeah, and you hold out that M. Lam.
Yep, Lam.
Yeah.
And that's its symbol at the bottom.
It's funny because I always think of the root chakra being like, at Christmas time, but it actually really makes sense for the root chakra to be in September because that's when we're really kind of connecting to the earth
Earth.
and harvesting. So Della's going to teach you some yoga. I have a dress on, so I can't model this.
Well, you don't have to model. The models are there. We'll just talk about them. So these are all good poses for helping to balance your root chakra. And so for each one, you can actually have them in a flow. And actually, I should have put them flow wise, but I didn't, because you could actually move from child's pose to garland pose to standing forward bend to mountain pose. And that could actually be the flow. Or you can hold, yeah, it would go, it would just
Either
go from
way.
child down. Yeah, you can go either way. Yeah. Hold each one, 3 to 5 minutes if you can, or do it as a flow. But for child's pose, it's good because it allows you to ground and connect to the earth. The garland pose helps to strengthen and stretch the hips, the groin, lower back, and ankles. Mountain pose helps you to feel more stable and grounded by connecting to your physical sensations. And the standing forward bend helps to stimulate your root chakra because it allows gravity to draw the energy towards your feet and legs.
So let's all get up and at least do the standing one. So let's get up and do Tadasana
Oh,
in my dress.
yes, I should.
So I was just teaching this to a private student on Sunday. Tadasana, the tada is tada, like you're just presenting yourself. So Tadasana. Yep. And then let's do a standing forward bend. Uttanasana. Oh, that feels
Let it
really
hang.
good.
It does feel good. Let your head hang too.
Right. And if you can do garland pose, maybe go from that standing forward bend into garland. If garland isn't in your repertoire, that's okay. Just continue that mountain to the forward bend.
Forward bend.
And no child's pose in a dress. That's a rule. And so even if you just, allow yourself for the month of September to get up and do just that. Take a moment and notice how you feel just from doing mountain pose, forward bend, whatever you did. Like all of a sudden it just shifts everything. And I think we need it right now. Thank you for standing up and doing that, guys.
Yeah.
Good. So this crow, I have to admit that I'm leery of crows. And I know 2 years ago, probably more than 2 years ago, Stephanie, when Stephanie was all into crows, they were showing up all over the place. And there's lots of different cultures that, some cultures will say, oh, crow is good luck. And some cultures will say, well, it depends on how many of them you see. If you see one, it's bad. But if you see two, it's good. If you see three, I mean, it's interesting to me that crows are so all over the place. But the bottom line is all birds are messengers. Anytime you see a bird, it represents a message. So for example, if you see an eagle, it's telling you to rise higher. If you see a vulture, what is it that is dead that needs to be eliminated in your life? I mean, it's pretty easy to figure out what it is, but the crow is always telling you to be reflective, be open to change, listen. Crow is all about transformation, and that's what September is all about. We're going from summer into fall, but the crow always, always, in all cultures, all I could see is it's saying change is coming. But a lot of people believe that change will be positive. Do they have crows down there, Leslie, in Florida?
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their range is, to be honest. They get confused with grackles. A hawk, Leslie asked a question, what about a hawk? A hawk is like, think about a hawk's eye. It's telling you there's some intuition that you need to pay attention to. I find if I say something and a hawk goes by, I got to go back to hear what I just said, because it means that meant something. So the Celtic moon is a vine. And I'm not going to read all of this stuff, but it is all about, think about a vine, how it wraps around and it takes in things around it. So this is a good time for you to value some input from other people. And it's time to consolidate. You know, we're spread all over the place in summer, and we want to kind of bring our plans to fruition before we go into winter. The vine also says, look, it's time for you to start your vitamin C therapy. You know, it's all about preparing for winter. It means to twist, and it represents fertility. They're saying if you eat grapes and blackberries, grow on a vine, it's a magical remedy that will aid memory and concentration. In the fall, it is said if you catch a falling leaf and you make a wish, then that wish will come true. It doesn't have to be a leaf from a vine, just any leaf. And if you put a grape seed in a glass of red wine, drink it on the night of the full moon, you will attract riches. Or you'll just have a really good glass of red wine, you know? So there is an equinox peace spell. So if you have anybody in your life that you feel like you have conflict with, or you're just holding on to a grievance, somebody has done you wrong, this is a really great spell to do to let go of it. So you're just going to get a white candle. It can be any white candle. Write down what your conflict is, what your grievance is, and then you're going to light the candle and focus on sending love to the person that you have the grievance with. Then you're going to burn that list in that flame and say, for the sake of peace, I will let it go. And you can do that for a few moments every night, just focusing on it. Because frankly, do we want to hold on to all of our grievances? No, no, no. That's not what we want to harvest. They also say, if you tie a white ribbon to a vine while you're doing this, any vine, it can be ivy, it can be grapes, you could go over to my old house, there's vines everywhere. Well, whatever they haven't ripped out yet, but there's like vines. Tie a white ribbon, and then when all the leaves have fallen, peace will be restored. Does anybody ever do these spells that we put up? Like, I think they're really fun. I actually really like this one. I'm probably going to have a list a mile long. Just kidding. Starting with the porcupine person. Anyway, she cracks herself up. So this is Virgo season. And Virgo season, you know, if anybody knows a Virgo, if you have a Virgo in your life, you know, these people are they're analytical, they can be sort of critical, they are observing everything. If you have a rising sign or a moon sign of Virgo, then you probably are very familiar with that kind of energy. Virgo is known as the Virgin. So they're always looking for purity. They're always looking for things to be correct. Their element is earth, which is why September is all about the root chakra and earth. Their ruler is Mercury, which I believe the Mercury retrograde ends today, right, Stephanie? This is just over here some information about what what they are, what they represent. But the only real, I know a couple of Virgos, but the Virgo I know the closest is Amy Seal. So if you know Amy, she was at Imagine for years and years and years. She is the epitome of Virgo. She's very loyal. She's very, wanting to be, do so good. She wants to do so good at her job that sometimes she can come across as even being a little bit airheaded because she wants to do so much all the time. So if you think you want to know what a Virgo is like, think about Amy if you know her. So we have these 2 moons coming up. Every single month, there's going to be a new moon and a full moon. And this is eclipse coming up also. And I don't know, Stephanie, if you want to talk about this, I just jotted down some notes. Would you like to kind of run this slide?
Haha. Well, I do have my astro forecast draft open.
We are, yeah, for those of you that haven't seen it, Stephanie and I are doing a special all about eclipse season and the retrogrades and all of that. This tonight, we are simply focusing on what does a new moon in Virgo mean and what does a full moon in Pisces mean. So, and if I put you on the spot, Steph, I can talk about it.
You can talk. The only thing I really have for the new moon is it had an interesting Sabian symbol with it. Does anybody not know what the Sabian symbols are? Because I can explain it real quick.
Yeah, could you?
Yeah, they are channeled messages for each degree of the zodiac, and they were channeled back in the 1950s by a woman who they just came out of her, and they're very descriptive, and they always make some kind of sense, especially if you do them for your sun sign, your ascendant, and your moon sign. They give you some insight into your personality. But anyway, so they're channeled messages basically for each degree. So this new moon will be at 11 degrees of Virgo, and the the Sabian symbol says a bride with her veil snatched away. And I'll talk about it. We'll be talking about it more at the astro forecast. And Linda, I think I'm done with the draft finally. I'll send it to you. But so just basically, it's interesting that Virgo is analytical and, all of these things, because we're hitting a period of truth being revealed, and that the veil being snatched away, it's like the truth is coming out. So that's the one thing I can contribute. We'll talk about it more. I'll send you the email, Linda. You'll know what I'm talking about because there's some other stuff in there about that.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about the new moon, but I don't really have much to comment on about the full moon.
Well, thank you. Thank you for letting me put you on the spot all the time. So I love Della and Stephanie. They just always have my back. So this new moon, the reason why we talk about what Virgo is because when we have a new moon in a specific sign, and we're going to be doing these signs all year long. This is a new section of Healing Space. It really helps if you know more about, well, what is Virgo? Like, especially if you don't have any Virgos in your life, and you're not Virgo, how would you know anything about them? But if you do know about them, you'll know, well, new moons, always new beginnings. And so when it's in Virgo, then it's going to have those qualities. So we need to have a very deliberate mind, and we need to make sure that we're paying attention to details. This new moon is not going to let us off the hook. And a lot of us have been kind of talking about how, we talked about this at Seekers last week, things just kind of feel like they were just so all over the place. And we're suddenly starting to get some glimpses into what is coming, the paths are starting to be made evident. And this new beginning in Virgo is going to make it even clearer. However, we have to get out of the scatteredness that a lot of us have been in. So it's time to tend to simple things. These are the days you want to garden, you want to take care of your home, you want to love the people, keep a slow pace. This is time to reflect on your goals. Virgo is all about writing. You know, if you're not a journal person, this would be the time to start, and use that kind of Virgo energy to help you refine what your intentions are. Now the full moon in Pisces, all about emotion. If anybody here Pisces before I talk bad about them? No. One of my best friends is Pisces, and boy, you always know how she feels. She can cry at the drop of a hat. I mean, those are the people that can wear their heart on their sleeve. So when we get to September 17th, that full moon in Pisces, the emotion just from that would be enough, but it's also an eclipse. It's a partial eclipse. So everything is going to be accelerated. And like I said, Stephanie and I will talk about this a lot. We're going to try to keep those emotions in check. If the emotion is something that's going to damage another person, it might be time for you to just take a little step back. If you start to feel really emotional around September 17th, you're not crazy. That's just what the stars are bringing us to right now. It's a time to gather, rest, and reflect. It's a time to, whether it be symbolic or not, put away things that you don't need. You know, Marie Kondo your house. If you don't have time to Marie Kondo your house, at least put your summer stuff away. I know it's hot as hell over there right now, but you are going to want to, when we get to September 17th, like clear some space, and let that be kind of a sign of you clearing that emotional baggage as well, because big things are coming. Does that make sense? Yes? Good.
All right. Our mantra for this month is Sat Nam. And Sat Nam means I am truth. Truth is my name or essence. And chanting Sat Nam helps to uncover one's personal truth and awaken your inner being. It also has the power to clear the subconscious mind so that old wounds and programs no longer get in the way. And so that is like a little symbol down there for Sat Nam. And in it, it just says, truth is my name. Truth is my essence. No, truth is my essence. Truth is my name. Truth is my truth. Truth is I. So also when you get the slides, here is a link to a Satnam mantra that you can listen to and kind of meditate on Satnam and see how it makes you feel. But in the meantime, we can all practice now and just sitting and just kind of sit and chant Satnam just a few times and see how you feel.
Right. So in Kundalini, the way we chant Satnam is we pull the belly in tight on the Sat, and it's like butt mom. So we pull it in on the Sat and then we release it on the Nam. So how many times do you want us to do it, Della?
Ooh. See, when you just said Kundalini, I said we do it a lot in Kundalini.
We do.
So it's okay. I'll be reasonable. Is 5 times too many? Because I was going to say 10.
I was going to say 10 too, but I'm looking at their faces. Which one do you want to do?
5.
Do you want to do long Sat or do you want to do the short Sat?
That's everybody else, not us.
No, I'm saying that to you, Della. So if
me?
Yeah, if you want to do long Sat, we can do that 5 times. If you want to do short Sat, then we can do 10.
Do short. Is everybody game for short? Do it 10 times?
Yeah. Okay, you lead us, Della.
Okay. Oh, see, I was getting ready to do the whole.
I'm in.
Okay. So I'm gonna take a deep breath in and let it out. And we'll inhale to chant. Sat,
Sat
nam,
sat
sat, nam, sat,
nam
nam, sat, 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 nam.
Now,
Thank
if you came to Kundalini on Monday nights, Leslie can tell you, the three of us are regular Kundaliniites, and that just instantly brings you just, woof, it like grounds you and lifts you up. Right, Leslie?
I felt really good yesterday. I felt strong, grounded, like my legs felt stronger. It was, yeah, Tuesday, I mean, afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
But you don't have to do Kundalini because Kundalini is weird, we know. But you can still do this mantra. Now, I'm sure the Maya Fines one it's the quick
It's long.
one, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
long. I
one.
mean, it's I think it's 11 minutes, 13 minutes.
Okay.
It's long, but you don't have to do the whole thing. It's just so that you can kind of hear what it is.
It's a magical mantra, and the words actually don't matter. It's about connecting to everyone who's ever chanted the mantra before. It's called the golden chain of teachers. There are the golden chain of wisdom, and it just brings you into a vibration. So it's just something to try. You don't have to come to Kundalini, although you should. So
You might like it.
you might. All right, so our lapis lazuli or lazuli or lazulu, whatever you want to say. So I don't know if you guys caught Rachel put up a thing about the picture of the lapis, because that is her. She and I just have an ongoing joke about lapis, because lapis will make you speak your mind. And so I actually have a gorgeous lapis necklace that it used to be the biggest joke. If I walked in wearing that, people knew there was trouble coming. Because it really will make it very clear and give you the courage to say what you need to say. So if you're going on a job interview, or you have some type of conflict that you need to resolve, carrying a lapis with you is going to give you the courage to not back down. There's always a saying that says, speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. A lot of us do not speak our truth, which is why Satnam is such a great mantra. But this will help you speak your truth, and maybe your voice won't shake with it, because you'll have the courage to say what you need to say. It's all about truth, wisdom, enlightenment, inner power. It's a stone of self-discovery and spiritual transformation. How many of you have lapis? Do you have, oh, okay, good. So you're familiar with this then. The thing that I find the coolest about lapis, I'm an art museum geek. I love going to art galleries. And if you go and you see some of the really old paintings, like the Mother Mary there, you'll see her in this beautiful blue. And that blue comes from lapis. The artist would take the lapis and grind it down. And use it as paint, add it to paint the robes that Mother Mary would wear. So if you go to an art gallery and you see this, look close, because you'll see the little gold flecks from the lapis in it. It's a royal stone. I mean, only really, really, really rich royalty people ever had access to lapis. So if you have a piece of it, you can now consider yourself rich royalty. And you should start carrying yourself that way. So like when people around you question you, you're like, no, 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 no. I am the queen. I have my lapis, and that's what you're going to manifest in front of you. Okay, Doc. Yes, Leslie.
I read that domes in certain city, some city, probably Muslim, had lapis mixed in. That's what created them to look blue.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. There was, oh gosh, however many years ago, they had a whole Mother Mary exhibit at the Women's History Museum. And the amount of pictures that had lapis in it was just, it was astonishing. So there you have it.
All right. So our herb for this month is basil. I don't know if you know, but basil is a member of the mint family, oddly enough. Yeah, that was new to me too, but I love basil.
Me too.
But according to you do, yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
love basil. Oh, I should have taken a picture of my basil bush in my yard that I just grew this year. It just exploded. I was so happy. Anyway, according to WebMD, basil is commonly used for stomach problems. It also provides some macronutrients like calcium and vitamin K. It is said to be a nutrient-dense herb with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and pain-relieving properties. It is considered a pungent and warming herb. And in Ayurveda, basil is believed to settle stomach disorders and enhance digestion. And it is also used for balancing your vata and kapha dosha, but also pitta, but not in, only if it's used in lesser quantities. So
Does basil have vitamin C, Della? Do you know?
I did not see vitamin C in basil.
Okay.
And here's some recipes to use our basil. So because the weather has been so crazy back and forth, I did one warm, one cold. You could have soup or you could have a smoothie. And I'll tell you, I've been making the strawberry basil smoothies over the summer. And, you know, when I first saw this recipe, I'm like, are you kidding? But when I made it, it's like, oh my gosh, you would be surprised how well those two things go together. I mean, I know everybody knows how well tomato and basil go together. That's, you know, there are tons of recipes, you know, the caprese salad and all of that, that's tomato and basil together. But the strawberry basil smoothie, try it. I promise you will not, as long as you're not allergic to anything, you will not be disappointed. Will not.
And if you take the milk out and you put in gin, it makes a great cocktail.
I've never done that.
I'm just saying.
That's a lot of gin.
That's a big cocktail down here, is a strawberry basil, whatever they call it.
Really?
So, oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's a big thing.
Interesting.
Not that, you know, I know anything about that.
Never had it. I
So the angel of the month is Metatron. How many of you are familiar with Metatron?
I've heard of.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, good. Well, you guys are on it. So, you know, Metatron's a big deal because he's known as the founder of sacred geometry. Now, I don't profess to be an expert on sacred geometry. You know, back when I was studying everything, every time I would get to sacred geometry, I was like, oh Lord, I can't. It's like so much. It's so vast that it's hard to really kind of bring it in. Kabbalah, all of that kind of stuff. I've never been able to really delve deep into it, but I do find myself drawn to this grid, and I use this grid a lot. So this is known as Metatron's cube. It's a symbol of balance, harmony, and the interconnectedness of all things. If you count this, it'll be 13 circles that are then connected by straight lines. So if you're going to use this as a grid, the obvious thing you would do is to put a crystal on each of those circles, and then of course have your master crystal in the beginning. This is known as the blueprint of creation. And I would use this grid when I'm trying to balance my chakras, grow spiritually, and improve my well-being. But also, if I feel out of balance, I feel like you just have to kind of put it all together. Has anybody ever used this as a grid? No. Yeah, we have these for sale at Imagine, and they weren't popular, which was surprising to me because I just think it's such a beautiful grid. But Metatron, he's a pretty big deal. You know, they say he's known as the lesser Yahweh or Yahweh. I never say that right. The archetype of man. I mean, he's real close to God, is what they're trying to say. One whose name is like that of his master. So you can call upon Metatron if you are feeling confused and you feel like you need some divine guidance. So he's a pretty big deal. So Della, why don't we go ahead and do the affirmations first?
Our affirmations for this month are: I am grounded. I am fearless. I have self-love and take care of my well-being. I am open to all possibilities. The earth provides a safe place for me. I have abundance in my life, and I trust the universe to support me.
So just let yourself breathe that in for a moment. Notice if there's any one of those that really is speaking to you right now. And maybe choose that as your affirmation for the month. And it doesn't have to be one that you feel is truth. Like if you are not grounded, picking I am grounded is a great affirmation. And then we're going to get ready and go into a meditation. So if you would like to get comfortable, go lie down or sit up or get some pillows. I don't want to tell you to get covered up because I know that's probably not a good idea. But maybe just take a few moments to get yourself comfy. Maybe turn off your cell phones or put them in another room so you won't be disturbed. If, like me, you have one of these watches that disturbs you all the time, take it off for a little while and give yourself permission for the next 15 minutes to not be connected to anything but the voice. Good. If it's possible to put your feet up, maybe you want to do that. So wherever you are, sitting, you can even stand, lie down, whatever you choose, just settle in now. Close your eyes to limit visual distractions, or fix them on a point on the wall or ceiling if you would rather. If you can straighten your spine, do so, but don't worry if you can't. The only reason meditation suggests a straighter spine is just so the breath can go in deeper. So if in the position you're in, you feel like you can get a deep breath, then don't worry about it. Allow your hands to rest easily on your lap or by your side. And turn the palms up if possible. That always signifies to the universe that you are ready to receive. If your legs are crossed, and it's possible to still be comfortable, uncross your legs to allow the energy to flow. Breathe easy. In and out. In and out. Just noticing the way your diaphragm moves just below your sternum as your lungs intake and release air. When you feel ready, we will begin an autumn meditation. You may choose at this point to call in your spirit guides, the angels, the enlightened beings, and the ascended masters. If you are Reiki, you may choose to call in your Reiki energy so that you may get the most from this meditation. If you find your mind start to wander, that's very normal. You may just choose to use the calm symbol to bring yourself back. Or repeat the mantra. I am truth, Sat Nam. So envision yourself standing inside of a room with a door that leads outside ahead of you. Pull a key from your pocket to unlock it. Turn the latch and step outside. In front of you is a colorful autumn landscape with hundreds of trees, with leaves in brilliant reds and golds. Some are green, not yet changed, while others have become crisp and brown on the edges. A little further ahead, water babbles down a shallow stream. Only a foot or so deep in the deepest part, you can see the stones and sediment that the water travels over. Leaves that have floated down into it collect on the edges where the water ripples towards shore, creating a golden lining on either side. You sit on a perfectly sized sitting rock on the edge, comfortable and content as the water runs by. Breathe in the crisp autumn air, filling your lungs with the scent of water, leaves, and the grasses that are yellowing around you. Feel the warmth of the afternoon sun on your face. The heat of summer is gone, and in its place is this wonderfully pleasant day, just warm enough for comfort, and cool enough to invigorate. As the breeze blows around you, notice the way that it coaxes leaves to let go of their branches, to float to the ground below. Some take a more direct path, while others drift and sway in the wind, spinning and twirling as they make their way down. Others still do not fall at all, but rather continue to hold on to the branches they grew from, refusing to take flight. They have allowed themselves to change colors alongside their fellows, but refuse to give in to the descent ahead. Just a little longer, they protest to the breeze. We're not yet ready to fall. So they hold on a little longer, even as the world changes around them. The yellows become orange, the oranges red, and the leaves on the ground become brown. But still, the leaves on the trees hold on, hoping to evade the relentless movement of time. Visualize the changing world of fall around you as you continue to breathe crisp autumn air in and out, leaning into this moment. As you breathe in and out, bring to mind something that you have been holding on to, something that no longer serves you, that you would like to let go of, but have not yet done so. Imagine this thing as a leaf on a tree, clinging to a branch high above the ground, refusing to give in to the change of the season. Once it had a place in your life, as every leaf has its place in a tree. It might even be a blossom that you cherished in the spring of its existence, that you have watched unfurl and grow, but that has now exchanged its green for gold. This leaf is not a bad leaf. This thing is not a bad thing. And yet, the time has come for it to fall from the branch. The time has come for you to let it go. Take a deep breath, the deepest breath you have taken thus far, and visualize the leaf letting go. It releases the branch and drifts gently to join the other leaves of red and gold below. Just like the leaf has not entirely disappeared, neither has the thing you are letting go of. It has just joined all of the other things that you have grown with and learned from and are now ready to let go of. For a moment longer, enjoy the autumn world around you. Experiencing again the warmth of the sun, the chill of the breeze, and the distinct scent of leaves and earth. When you are ready, begin to leave the side of the river and return to the door you entered this world through. Step back inside, taking care to pull the key from your pocket to lock the door once more. This door is always available to you. You can always return to the autumn world by the river with the trees of red and gold. The key will always be in your pocket. Return your focus to your breath, breathing in and out, soft and slow. Experiencing the way your lungs also release the old to bring in the new. When you are ready, begin to sense your surroundings, the surface you're sitting on, the air around you. The sounds and the smells of your space. Maybe begin to wiggle your fingers or your toes. And when the time feels right, gently blink open your eyes and return to your day. Welcome back. So if anyone has anything they want to share, any insights that came to you during the meditation, please feel free.
Out of apples and cinnamon and nutmeg later in the fall. Later at the end, at the very end.
Nice, nice. Yeah, are we ready for fall? Like, I'm ready for fall. Everybody feels the same.
Like them.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming. Like I said, if you don't have the link and you want to know more about Maybon and Equinox and all that, happy to send you the recording. And if you have any questions, let us know. And we will see you. It's Saturday, right, Stephanie? No, Sunday. Sunday,
Oh.
if you want to know more about the eclipses and the retrogrades and what's going on, just join us. I think we're at 1 o'clock on
This
Sunday.
Sunday. This
Yeah.
Sunday.
This Sunday, yes. And then we'll get together for Spirit Space on the 25th, where we do tarot. So
Will this be the same link for the for Sunday?
yes,
Okay.
yes, it will always be the same link. Like I said, I'm working on a new website, new everything. And part of what will happen is I will create a private group, a little bit more private than seekers and healers are right now. And that link will be permanently posted in that space. Yeah, and so just stay tuned. If my eyeballs don't fall out, I'll get this all done. So we'll let you know. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of the new website. I love it. It's so much easier. So anyway. All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Thank you.
Okay,
guys.
thank you.
so
Good
much.
night, everyone.
Bye.
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 Stay cool.
You